ready? Counting down. Studio, we're going live. In 3, 2.
With our 0 followers.
Take it apart.
No.
Welcome to the Aaliyah campaign. I am your host and DM, Andrew. I am joined by, starting off with Ethan. We got Kyle. We got TJ. John. Josh. And Steven.
Hey.
Starting off our adventure today, our heroes are in an ancient ruin that has a tapestry, a painting across the wall that has a epic battle scene. There was a 12-sided item that was pulsing in the middle of the room, and 2 of our heroes fell victim to its call, and they went closer to it and touched it, and upon touching it, all of the others see them stop moving, and they're just standing there. So, my intrepid heroes, I will ask you, what do you do?
Milo is running around panicking.
Map response.
No use whatsoever.
I think at this point, I wanted to, I think last we talked about it, I wanted to talk to Aeon about seeing if he could reach back out to home with his speaking stone. In case this gets really ugly, it might be good to give a location or something where might, get someone to come check on us. I think that might be a good idea.
Sure.
Yeah. So Ian's gonna pull up the Stone of Far Speech, and then he's gonna be like making sure everyone still sees the coal flourish that it has on the special edition Stone of Far Speech that he had. And so he's gonna hit the buttons, boop beep boop. Father. Yes, Father, can you hear me?
Oh, go ahead, Ian.
I nothing's wrong. Everything's fine. First of all, but we may be in a little bit of a predicament. Hey, we found Cyprus. By the way, I don't know if we told you that earlier on the previous episode.
Yes, you did tell me that you found Cypress earlier. You said he was stuck in a rock slide.
Yes, and he was trying to just like Hadouken his way out of it with fireballs, and so we did some other magic, and anyways, we found a cave. So we went into the cave, and we found some interesting stuff. It's kind of spooky. This old graves, old bodies. There's a lot of rats. I don't think
You're talking about the cave up on top of the mountain, right?
Yes.
Up on the ridge near the dam?
I believe so.
Your character knows that is not the cave that he's talking about.
This is clearly not the cave. No, sir. Other cave.
Other cave?
It's different.
There shouldn't be any other caves.
Well, yes, I could see how you could think that knowing topographical maps of the area. However, we're in a cave, so I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know where it is. It's nearby the ridges. We were in the forest. We went over the hills towards the ridge, certain ridge lines. I thought it might have been the same ridge line, but yet we are here now, and we're inside, and there's rats. Yeah, I don't think I like rats.
Oh, we know the entrance is like a 1,000 feet from our hideout.
The entrance probably got exposed in that rock slide. Probably what happened. So they might not know that it even exists.
Okay, so let's back up a little bit, son. Yeah. What do you mean by everything's okay, but? Where's the but?
Well, there are some ruins in here, and there's some... He goes on to expound about, like, how they found the book, and there's these, like, symbols on the wall, and they found this word, and it opened up this room, and then we spoke the word, and we got to the secret passage, and yeah, I think we're fine, but I just wanted to make sure that you knew where we were in case something happens. This is totally also in line with Ian's character to be like just reporting you the facts. Just wanted to make sure you knew.
Hold on a second, son. You spoke a word, and a door opened.
Yes, spoke a word, and the door opened.
All right, I'm on my way.
Do you know where we are, though?
Son, I'm assuming you described where it was, because it was like 900 something feet from your tower, which he knows where your tower is.
And being grown up and raised as a detective kids, he would have been like, here's the facts, here's where we went, here's where everything's lined up.
Right. Yeah, so you tell him you're going to head northeast from my tower, and it's, you just keep going that way, 950 feet. It's like a straight line. So you tell him, and he says he's on his way. He says, this is really weird. There shouldn't be any caves there. Hold on, I'm bringing the guards. At least one of them. Okay, so you have successfully contacted your father, and he is on the way. In the meantime, the glowing beacon begins to kind of pulse faster and faster, and everybody, let's see, I want Milo, Abril, and Marilyn to all make wisdom saving throws.
Let's see about that.
There would be a 7.
Okay.
15.
Okay, so and from your perspective, we'll say you kind of, it plays out like this. You turn your back kind of to the pulsing beacon and everybody, and you're having this conversation with your dad, and you turn back to look at everybody like, hey guys, help is on the way, and you see that all of them are now right next to this beacon, and it is glowing and it is brighting. It is very bright, and it is letting off a low kind of hum.
Guys, I don't know if you should be right next to that beacon. It looks uncertain, at least.
There is no response.
Okay, guys.
Many of them. They're all just standing here.
Guys, this isn't funny. Guys,
we'll say you can kind of see Marilyn, because he kind of came around to the other side. You see him just like slowly close his eyes, then opens them like over the course of like 3 minutes. It's like one giant blink.
Oh.
So this is like flash time. Like Ian's just stuck in the Speed Force, like perspective wise. Like he's seeing everybody slow down, but he's still
sort of. Yeah, it's very weird. It almost seems like everybody else is kind of reacting very slow. Like you're not sure if he was trying to fall asleep or if that was a blink. Probably a blink.
Yeah, very very slow blink. Let's go with a good old fashioned insight check.
Okay, go ahead and roll it.
All right, hold on. Give me 1 second. I don't have my dice with me. Out of all the things we set up, I don't have my dice. How do I hit the roll 20? I don't do roll 20 up.
dice on the left side. Picture of it.
And then you'll click on the section that you want.
Okay, 16. An insight check on a 16 is you are kind of, obviously you are convinced. Whatever this beacon in has kind of drawn them in with whatever this pulsing light. Obviously, that is connected to something that is, or whatever is going on with my friends. My friends are not moving. They are moving slowly. You can gather from your insight check that this is something that is a direct correlation to this beacon thing that's just sitting there on this pedestal. And you kind of gather from, with your insight check, you gather that with the pews, the rows of benches, and the dais kind of off center to this pedestal, this thing was some kind of source of like worship for whatever happened here. And you gather with you also gather with your insight check that it probably wouldn't have done this if it wasn't safe. Like if it sucked them in or killed them, it probably wouldn't have worshipped this thing. It probably wouldn't like, oh, that's dangerous, stay away. You gather that it's not hurting your friends.
Gotcha.
It's just there, and they are kind of a trance.
The investigator side of AN is just like, I need to know the facts. He's deducing that, so he doesn't have anything that's making him believe, okay, this may not be the best idea, but everything seems to be safe. So his curiosity is going to get the best of him. He wants to investigate and find out, because that's a piece of information he doesn't have. I feel like that's a choice he's going to make. So he's going to approach the beacon as well.
Okay. Go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw. As you get closer, light pulses at a rate that kind of just really that transfixes your at your eyes. And with the 17 that you just rolled wasn't high enough. And as light pulses, it kind of stays on, and you see white. Everything. Okay, this is everybody now, since you're all kind of in this space. The vision that you see is white. No, 17 was not good enough. This is some serious stuff here. White flash. Everything is white. However, it's only like that for a second, or is it a minute, or is it a year? No, it's been at least decade. No, it's been seconds, right? No, this is like an eternity. No, it's only been like a few seconds since I touched this. I mean, Kiki, you think I just grabbed Cypress right here, and yet I've seen this white like years. I feel like my whole life has been here. What? No, it's only been a few seconds. And suddenly you see slowly Cypress, you kind of turn and you see Kiki there, and few seconds, or is it an eternity later, Marilyn pops in to the white space that you guys are in. Everybody soon, and then there's just this silence, this calm silence that permeates. Excuse me. Everybody's kind of calm, conscious mind. There's no fear of what's happening to me, what's going on. There's no sense of dread, like what's happening, what's going on. There is just this calm kind of feeling over everybody. And you kind of look down, and there is, again, in this white space, this beacon pulsing.
So the beacon is still there in the white space?
Yes.
Kiki's going to touch it. Like, even after all of this.
You have this, like, you blink and you're like, have I always been here? No. I had a life before, right? hang on a second. Oh, this just makes sense. So you reach out and you touch it, and all of a sudden, the whiteness, the white space, everything just fades. And as soon as your eyes adjust, you are on top of a barren hillside. There is dark storm clouds all around. This is everybody. Everybody sees this. There's dark storm clouds all around. There is meteor storms falling through the storm clouds. You can see over to the west, over to the south, north. The horizon is on fire. There is a screaming and a chanting and a chunk, chunk, chunk of metal armor on ground, on stone. You look down and you see on your left side there is a massive crawling army full of twisted, fiendish, devilish design. However, just like, did you see this before? No, but I know. Hold on a second. This seems right. And you see in an assortment of humanoid figures, of devilish figures, of fiendish figures, all kind of marching in unison. There is gigantic figures inside as well, giant wings, huge sprouted horns. I think that is literally the devil over there marching towards, what is this over here? You look on the other side, there is a shining white army marching down. In the ranks of the army, you see humanoids, you see giants, you see those goblins. What? You see an assortment of creatures along the right flank that are all already marching down to meet this. Suddenly there is a small moment where nothing seems to happen. Both armies kind of stop and are just kind of staring at each other. And then the meteors hit. And the armies just, like a dam breaking, rush together and they clash, and there is screaming and wailing and gnashing, and there is a massive battle. It looks like this is the last battle that ever was, because certainly there's no other people on the earth. They must all be here. The moon, second moon, begins to light up from the inside. A row of cracks and streaming fire coming from those cracks show on the surface of the moon. Slowly the moon opens up, and just like how whenever you see lightning and then there's a delay and then the thunder, there's this earth shattering. And you see parts of the moon are now flying at the earth, and everything seems to be correlating to the battle that is happening down below. It doesn't make a difference, because as soon as fragments and the pieces of the moon hit, there's a shockwave of dust and debris, and lava is erupting from the ground all over the place, and this tidal wave of dust and debris, fire, ash washes over you. And you're back in the room. And everything, every memory kind of snaps back into place, like, oh.
Are we back in the white room?
You are back in the temple, in the cave.
You guys see that?
Only if you did.
Did the moon just blow up?
Felt very familiar, like a dream. You guys think?
That was a big army.
Does anyone else have
Big
a
bad guy.
huge craving for eggs? Like just watching the moon explode?
Not really.
My stomach hurts a little bit. It's terrifying.
A little bit nauseous?
Quite a bit. I don't want to do that again. I feel like I've done it before.
Boy, kids, take us time to get you home.
Go sit down. I go sit down against the wall.
I think
Right?
we.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
you do that. I was just gonna. You do that. You go sit down on one of the benches.
Well, I think we filled our psychic visions quota for the day. We can safely check that off on our little scorecard. Just be sure to turn it into your camp counselors before leaving.
I don't have a scorecard. Wait, who's your camp counselor?
Looks at sticks.
I'll hook over to Marilyn and be like, "Boy, Mary, come on, we get you out of here." Yeah. I think we've spent enough time here in this place.
You saying something?
Walk over to Marilyn. I'm gonna put my arm kind of just on his shoulder. Look at him like, "Hey, come on, Mary. It's about time I get you back. It's a lot to go through for you little ones. I think I'm out of my depth here as
Yeah, I'm ready to go
the
home.
oldest one. Yeah. Where we go?
I think you see Ayan actually just almost like down to a knee, like that amount of like psychic type energy thing that he just experienced. I think with his natural powers, like temporal anomalies, he's just really thrown off. Like he's got like a temporal hangover going on right now.
So, the object that is still on the dais, is it still giving out those hypnotic pulses, or is it kind of quieted down?
It is still pulsing, but it's faint. And you guys are not really feeling drawn to it like you were a second ago, a minute? No, that was like yesterday, right? No, it was. Time is weird right now. You can't remember exactly how long have you been standing in this room. Gabriel, what are you doing?
Well, Vabril walks around this orb and kind of like is talking to himself, but also talking to it. It's kind of like just speaking to himself, trying to find out, like, what is this? What are you? Like, what are you trying to tell us? Because again, when Vabril doesn't understand something, that's his obsession, and so he's just captivated by what just happened. And is just walking in a circular motion, just walking around it, trying to figure this thing out.
Oh, yeah. Hey,
Yes.
call your dad on that rock.
Yes. Oh, that's right. He's kind of just awakens himself back up from just the trance he's in. And it's almost before he dials, he kind of gets this like sense that something's not right. But he goes ahead and dials.
Talk about timing.
As a reminder,
If you have not muted your devices, please mute them immediately.
we should roll that
So
little
please,
please silence your cell phones.
now.
That's a clip that's going to make it to the TikTok and the YouTube
Silence your
shorts.
speaking stones.
Hey, Ethan, can you try to stay centered in your frame as much as you can? Look in the center of your camera. There it is. A little bit better. You keep creeping out to the side. You can't see what I'm doing to mirror you, but
With the magic chime, you pick up your speaking stone, and you call your dad, right?
yes. Calling Ayan.
Okay.
No, Ayan's calling Endel.
It's a pizza place, yeah.
Yeah, Ayan's calling his father Andal. Strangely, there's no answer. Like, this is a dedicated phone. There's only like sending stones only work one way. It only connects to one other sending stone. Your dad would have this on him, but there is no answer.
This line hasn't been used in 20 years.
It's coming from inside the cave.
No, like Ian's like that was really timey-wimey, and even though John the PC has some suspicions about time, like Ian's just like, it's not working. I dialed right in the same number we dialed right before I touched the stone.
All right, let's go, everybody.
It's time to go.
Vabril is going
Somebody
to.
roll me a Milo. Roll me a perception check.
Oh, I think I'm good at those, except even if it never shows that I am.
Just roll it.
17.
17.
Hey.
Easy. You look around the room and you see there are bags on the benches that aren't there before. There's a couple bags over on the benches, you notice.
So am I sitting by one?
No, they're only like on a couple. You didn't sit, next to one of the bags. The benches that have the bags on it.
Milo cautiously approaches one and looks at it.
Yeah, easy enough. You are also able to kind of determine this bag, you've seen this style before. One of your cousins owns a shop and makes these kinds of bags. You open it and there is some hard sausages, some cheese, some bread that's not too stale. It looks like food was left here in these bags. And also with your perception check, you hear steps in the anteroom coming kind of around, into the main, anteroom. So there's steps in the hall coming down towards the anteroom. Are you guys doing anything?
I think Kiki's going to stand in front of the dais, kind of blocking the item from view from the entrance. And I can't figure out how to move it. There we go.
If I hear this, I'm going to take a stand in front of the door and have a produce flame up. And if I see anything hostile coming, I'm ready.
Okay.
I don't think I react. I think I'm just still sitting there.
Milo was about to book it out the door. He's to find out what that was, but Cypress is there, so he's like,
Hold up.
Vabril.
Okay, so Cypress. Oh no, go ahead, Vabril. What are you doing?
I was just gonna say Vabril stops circling around it and actually reaches out to touch it to see if it reacts to it.
You sly dog. I wanted to do that too.
Okay, so
No. I want to see this reaction compared to last time.
All right, hold on, everybody. We'll deal with that in a second. Ayana, are you doing anything?
He is still just like trying to get the thing to work. It's not working. And then he sees Vabril approaching. It's like, Vabril, I don't know if I would do that.
I've already done it.
Vabril, you touch it, and this time nothing happens.
Okay.
Touch it, and it's unlike anything you've ever felt before. You felt glass, you felt wood, stone. This doesn't feel like any of those. This is weird. It's smooth, but it's also kind of thick and hollow at the same time, if that makes sense. It's not like any material you've ever touched before. But as he is kind of giving this a pat down, you, Cypress, you see coming around, there is a human, 6'1", I'd say, with a torch. He's coming around. He's got a green hood up over his head and a quiver on his back and a bow. And he looks at you, Cypress. He comes kind of around the corner, kind of stops, and he's like, "Oh, you're up. Hey, Mayor."
Wait, who are you?
Hello, I am. I'll deal with that in a second. Mayor, they're up. And you hear more footsteps. There is soon. So he's just kind of standing there. He's not drawing a weapon. He's just holding a torch around, and he kind of sticks it in the wall. He says, "I'm Lido." Oh, that's right. You were not here. I came. I am someone who has a variety of skills. Tracking, for instance, is one of them. Yes, I was sent to keep an eye on you to see when you would wake up. Hold on a moment. Mayor, they're up. He calls out back further down the hall, and you kind of hear there are more footsteps coming down.
Do an insight check on this guy.
Yeah, sure, roll it.
Six.
What'd you get?
Big six.
6?
6.
Humans are weird, man. You haven't spent too much time around humans, but something kind of tells you, like, there's no reason to lie. Why would he lie? That's an absurd thing to make up. Like calling for the mayor? This place has a mayor? What?
I thought mayors were only in towns. I'll drop my flame and just ponder that for a minute.
Okay. Cool.
Can I ask
Anybody
how big is the object? The one on the dais?
It's not big. It's not super big. I mean, the little dais pedestal is maybe about a foot of diameter, kind of like this marble pedestal. It only comes up, like 3 feet. But it's maybe a little bigger than palm size.
I think Kiki is going to look over at Vabril and kind of like look at it and then like look down into like our pockets and like and start like reaching for it. But like also waiting. Like
Vabril, are you doing anything with that prompt?
Like I want you to know Kiki is taking like the initiative and like starting to reach for it, but like waiting for like approval or like denial.
So Vabril allows her. Once he feels that there was no reaction whatsoever, he actually was thinking the same thing of trying to see if we can take this with us. And so as Kiki kind of reaches, Vabril kind of like agrees in a sense and allows her to kind of like take it. So I don't know if you're gonna put it in your pouch or how you're gonna do it, but Vabril is an agreement with letting you he's falling back and agreeing that we should take this thing somehow, some way. So
that's amazing. I love that.
You go to put it in your pocket and you hear kind of from the antechamber its voice, I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Oh shoot.
Can I make like a sleight of hand check?
He got a nat 20 on his perception check. I'm not joking. You reach for it and you go to put it in your pocket, but he saw it. He clocked it. He was. I wouldn't touch that if I were you guys.
So should Kiki roll too for it, or a nat 20 just beats that automatically? Because if she rolls a nat 20,
roll on a nat 20.
You can roll, but this ranger has plus 11 to his perception, so I don't think you could beat a 31.
All right.
Even with a nat 20.
I got a 12.
Okay.
And what sleight of hand? Oh, that's Dex.
You're not
That's
proficient in it.
I got a 13.
Okay, so he
got a
definitely
13.
sees. I wouldn't do that if I were you. We're still studying it. Please put it back.
And the ranger is Lido.
He says,
Is this Lido?
Yeah. Let me continue my formal introduction. My name is Lido von Atreyu. I am a wanderer in these parts recently. I have come about these lands in order to make myself sort of known, sort of build up. Long story. I can get into it later once we're back at town. You guys ready to come?
Milo is ready to get out of this after that vision he saw.
Okay,
Kiki reluctantly puts it
you
down.
guys. Okay, so you set it back on the pedestal, good, because he was watching you. You guys are starting to kind of like, okay, well, let's go back to town. The mayor, Hahafanel, comes around the corner, and she clocks kind of Cypress. Oh, okay, good. I'm glad to see you again. Children, are you all right?
I mean, I'm a bit bummed, but
You all right? Did you have some sort of vision? You hungry?
could go for some eggs.
She's like, okay, we can get you some eggs. Is anybody else responding?
Where's my father? Where's Andal?
Endel, he was right behind me. Is there a problem? He's coming. And sure enough, he kind of comes in and he's like, oh boy. Oh, I thought I lost you there for a bit. The mayor says, oh, go ahead.
I called on the stone, and you didn't answer.
Oh, son. He kind of like, son, as you know, those are one-way tickets. Like, they only communicate with each other. We've been in here for 3 weeks. Frozen. I was there not even 10 minutes after you called, and I couldn't wake you. I couldn't do anything. You were there. We had no idea what was happening to you. So for the time being, I left it at home because I didn't know when you were going to wake up from this thing. We come by and we check every single day. And you have, I'm assuming, no, like on his gruff exterior, like inwardly, you know, he is the happiest person to see you right now, to see you awake, alive. There's a sense of like relief that like comes to his eyes, and you can tell like his facial expressions kind of relaxed, but you know, outwardly he tries to maintain this like, good to have you back, son, kind of like persona. The mayor kind of says, indeed, as Andal has said, we've been stuck in this position for 3 weeks. There's nothing we could have done. Once Andal told me what happened, I forbid everyone from coming and trying to help. Now, we must get back to parents. I'm sure I would.
Can I insight check that real quick?
Sure.
Oh, it's a natural 7.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back.
Nice. Appreciate you
Sorry.
stealing my thunder there, Eva. The mayor looks at you and says, you've been gone for 3 weeks, standing here, unmoving.
Ian is
very concerned about you.
Shooketh, to say the least. Like, he knew there was some timey-wimey stuff going on, but still, like, he's just broken for a moment. 3 weeks? No, we were only gone 5 minutes, or 5 weeks, or 5 months, years.
Regardless, you're here now. You're back.
Yes.
We won't lose you again. Everyone, please come with me. someone I'd like you to meet. Do you guys all go with her?
Yeah, I stay silent. I'm just going along with it. I'm kind of like
Milo power
just.
walks out
I'm still
of the
not
cave.
very responsive.
Okay. So everybody kind of walks out the room. Everybody is going along with the mayor as requested. Everybody kind of files out, and then afterwards, Leto is the last person to kind of pick up the group. You guys are kind of walking out through the back chamber, and you get to that spot where like the brass door opened, and inside that chamber you see a dwarvish person who is kind of studying some runes and stuff that are on the wall. Like you didn't notice them before, but like they're kind of glowing with like this magical light now, and he's kind of trying to decipher things. If you could picture like the jolliest Santa Claus you've ever seen, but like in dwarf form, he is a dwarf, white beard, kind of white hair, no real like spectacles on his face, but he's just got these like plump, rosy cheeks. And he kind of turns as everyone else is kind of coming out the way and gives everybody a good look. I like count everybody like, yes. Very well to meet all of you. And the mayor kind of stops everybody and says like, everyone, this is who I'd like you to meet. This is, how would you like to say it? Avin de Sora is my name. Very pleased to meet you. It is a pleasure to meet all of you at this time. And everybody roll a, it's not a save, it's a wisdom check.
I got a 3 plus my modifier 4, so I got a 7.
Ian got a 9
I had a 4 plus
plus
my 2,
2.
so 6.
11s.
18.
17.
Okay. Marilyn and
16.
Cypress, you both, and Fabril, you all kind of instantly pick up like, I heard that voice before somewhere. No, this seems familiar. Like, you should know who that voice belongs to, but you can't quite put it there. It's like looking through like stacks upon stacks of like dirty windows, trying to see a picture clearly. Like you have this image of like, I feel like I know this person, but it's not quite there. He kind of says, very pleased to meet you all. I am a researcher. I have been traveling around these parts and all the parts of the world, really looking for these artifacts. And Mayor Hahoffenel says like, Evan, I will leave them in your care. Children, please return to your families as soon as you are done here. Your families miss you very much. And I know that they would all be delighted when I tell them that their children are back and safe. So she kind of leaves, and Leto kind of goes with her, talking to her as they walk out. So everybody's kind of gathered around Avin, and he looks at all of you. There's usually one more with you. Where is he? Where is red hair, Mayor's son, right? Where is he?
Presumably still grounded.
He didn't come with us. He got
Yeah.
called on a Stone of Far speech from his mother and went home. He didn't come with us.
Verbril, how would you know that? Sir, whatever your name is, how would you know that?
Avin. My name is
Avin.
Avin Desora.
Hey there, Avin.
No
How would you know that? Because he wasn't with us.
I know many things, young Vabril Noble Blight. Many things have been, many things that may yet to come. Tell me, what did you see?
I think I just kind of like quietly say like everything.
For Bruce, I
Well,
saw the.
Maybe you should tell us a little bit more about yourself before we go sharing our secrets. There's a lot of stuff I don't know. I feel like I know you.
Before you even finish talking, he pulls out a glowing beacon.
Yeah.
Will this get you to talk a little bit more? I knew it would. Please continue. This one is not, it is kind of pulsing, but it's not like drawing you in.
Same size.
It is the same size. It is also 12-sided.
Kiki is very upset now that she didn't get to take the other one with her.
Verbril says, it seemed like I saw the end of the world. There was a large battle and death everywhere. And I could not understand what was going on. I don't know
So
about
you
the
saw the
others.
return, did you?
The what?
It was a dream.
The return. You were
the
saying something,
return.
Ian?
He looks at his dad to get like, is it okay for me to relinquish this information? So he looks to Andal. Should I say it?
Son, he's the one that told us what happened to you guys. You all were in that room, and he came to town one day, and it almost kind of looked like he was meant to. He kind of twirls his mustache like, he said that we should just wait for you to be done. And we had to, go with it, because what else were we going to do? He said nobody else should touch you, and we left some food for you in case whenever you woke up, if you were hungry. I know you always get hungry at this age. But yeah, he's the one that kind of helped put it all together.
So you trust him?
Kind of gives you like that, like, I have no reason not to trust him, but I really don't trust.
Ian's going to try to detect thoughts when he asks that question.
On his dad? On
yeah.
Ooh.
Handle?
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts kind of permeating Andel's thing is, I don't trust anybody 100%.
Yeah.
Everybody has something to gain. This person helped me save my son, and for that I owe him a little bit of
leeway,
trust and respect and leeway. Yeah,
at least has a little bit. He appreciates for the service, but he's not full tilt. Yes, he's trustworthy. So he's like, Ian's gonna notice that, and well, when I think of what we saw, it was old and new, but it was a memory. And I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I don't think it's the first time I've seen that. He's gonna look around at
No,
his
it wasn't.
friends.
No, and I think I'm losing a little bit of patience in having seen something so like terrible, and this guy's just kind of acting like it's not a big deal. So I think I'm starting to get a little antsy, starting to bounce a little bit, and very much thinking of I think I'm just gonna go home. I don't want to do this. I don't want to talk to you. I'm losing a lot of patience here. This is too weird to process right now. It was a lot.
Yeah, Kiki's kind of on the same page. More so, kind of with Ayan of, I don't really trust this guy. Like, yeah, he offered advice, but in Kiki's eyes, she doesn't owe him shit. So, because they would have like worked themselves out. So I think that she's just over it. And
Okay, so he kind of is standing there, kind of holding it, holding this another one of these items. He says, "What you saw was not a mistake. This stone, you saw the chamber. Now, this stone has been lost for a long time. Whoever found it obviously had some kind of dark, twisted ties in order to facilitate this. The torture chambers, as you saw, were meant to extract information about the vision. The room itself, they painted paintings and tapestries on the wall, all about the same scene over and over. It was not by mistake. You saw what you saw. Something arose here from it, of divine, I wouldn't call it intervention, but of divine happenings.
Are you saying what we saw was not a mistake, that it was accurate, or are you saying the fact that we saw it was not a mistake?
Tell me in detail exactly what you saw, if you please, and I will tell you what I see. Trade for trade, yes. World-ending secrets for world-ending secrets.
So at this point, Vibril is very intrigued because, again, knowledge is his thing, and hearing that statement, Vibril just kind of tells him everything we saw. If I have to repeat what I remember, it seemed like a battle between light and dark, and one side was coming down. We could call it the devil himself, and the other side was the side of good and the side of humans. There was there was like a huge storm. The second moon split open, and as soon as it hit the earth, that's when the battle started. And there was lava everywhere, dust. Just it was chaotic, and it seemed like this was the last battle to take place on Earth. And yeah, Gabriel just goes on and explains everything.
Yeah, you give him the summary of kind of what happens, and he looks right at you and he says, "Where were you standing?"
On a hill.
On a hill.
We were all on a hill looking down.
You weren't in one of the two armies?
Not that I remember. Nope.
I wasn't.
We were
on a hill.
Your friend Aladar was not with you? Did you see him at all?
I didn't see him.
Not that we recall.
He gets this kind of like he's doing like mental calculations in his head. Whenever you kind of say like, "Hey, Aladar wasn't here this time," like, I don't know why you keep bringing this up. He's doing like mental kind of like gymnastics in his head, and he says, Did it end the same way as you saw earlier in your dreams? Did it end the same way?
How did you know about our dreams? Or excuse me,
I will answer
how
that
did you know
question
about our dreams?
after
I literally just
you
told him.
answer mine.
Like, Ian mentioned it was in his dreams, just so.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I don't recall, but Cypress probably would.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember it ending.
Have we
guys
ever
standing here trying to think about the vision? It's like deja vu. There's this because you just experienced it and you're like, this happened, or no, wait, was it like that? I've seen this before. It was like this, it was like this, it was like this, and then this happened, and then this happened, and it's like this click of like, yeah, I have seen this before. This is really, it like takes you out of your mind a little bit. Like that deja vu just like smacks you in the head. And it not basically it hits you and you realize that at the end of the dream that you had, something was different. Something was different. There was a voice. Someone spoke and said, like, this didn't work this time. Maybe next time. Maybe we didn't try everything. In the dream, that's what you heard. But hearing the voice or seeing the vision this time, you didn't hear that voice.
Yeah, I think I expressed that to him. I remember in the dream, I was very badly injured. I was spoken to directly, and I didn't have any of that this time.
So, I have a question. So we all each individually had the dream, but did we ever like mention as a group, like, hey, we all had this dream?
No, this is the first time we've spoken about it. So Ian was the first
Yeah.
one to
So-
kind of like breach, like because he didn't say we. I said
I was about to say.
He said I've seen. I feel like I've seen this before in a dream.
And
then he looked to the rest of you guys to see what you guys wanted to say about it, if you did.
And what's his face? I'm like horrible with names. But before we had said that we had all had it, he said all of you. This is like the dream that all of you had. So Kiki is very spooked.
Yeah. Thor, I almost said Thor. Verbril. Yes, sir. No, so Verbril can tell from the way this guy is talking, he knows something. Again, for him to pull out that object that we kind of experienced and had a reaction with, there's more to him than we know, and based on trying to trade knowledge for knowledge or answers for answers, at this point, again, I feel like as a group we're trying to get answers from him, and I know it's a little sketchy, right? Like I know it's hard for us as a group because some of us want to leave, some of us want to find out what's happening, but Verbril is just trying to get answers out of them, if that makes sense. So, yeah.
So how does he try to get the answers out of him? What does he say?
No, I'm just saying. So with everything you've explained, right? You talked about your dream. I kind of explained what we saw. Like I'm waiting for him to say something now.
I think I'll take my 6'8" frame over to him and be like, "Right, be shed. Now it's your turn."
There we go.
You walk over to him and this kind of like, all right, now it's your turn. He just kind of looks up at you. Like, he's not scared of you. Like, he looks at you like, almost like, I know you. You're an old friend of mine, but we just haven't talked in a long time. He has that like look in his eyes. He's not intimidated at all, if that's what you were going for. He says, he looks over at Andal and he says, So, Andal, I would like to make my request. And Andal he says, he said he would help us as long as he could make one request that we had to agree to. And I was desperate to save you, son. He said he could do it. I had to be there with him, I said, but he said he needed a request as soon as you guys were fixed. And so I said, as long as I'm there, you can do it.
What did you promise?
Yeah.
A request.
He wanted a request. He did not tell us what it was, but it was conditional on him helping you.
All right. What is this quest?
So when he goes and takes us away for the next 15 years, good to know.
All right.
It's the next time skip, guys.
All right. So what is
level 1?
So what is this request?
He kind of holds out sphere and pokes it, and it starts to glow brighter.
Oh crap!
He says, "Take a look."
Verbril walks up.
In a book.
Verbril,
Yeah, I'll do it too.
Yep, Verbril walks up and touches it.
Okay,
Says
so
he needs answers.
Okay, so Vabril touches it, Cypress touches it. Anybody else?
I'm just looking at it.
Yeah.
So you're making it. So he just makes a glow. He doesn't say anything. He just he has yet to make his request be made.
His request is touch it and take a look.
So you just want
I'll
us
do
to
that.
take
So
a
his
look.
his
all.
request of yes, I will help your children if I get to ask them to do something once they're awake.
What terrible
And
parents.
his request to you
Yeah.
is to look.
All right.
I'm here
I
for
think-
it. Ian says, that was a deal. A deal is honest, and we will be honest with our deal. And he's like, if my father made a promise, Ian's mindset is, I will honor my father's promise, because that's the dutiful son that he is. So he'll give a knowing look and move forward cautiously, but towards the glow.
Okay. Kiki?
Kiki is uncharacteristically not rushing in, because she's still pretty shaken up, because you have a preteen who just witnessed essentially kind of like the end of world, and then essentially being thrown into, well, someone else made a promise for you,
That's good.
and she's not about that. And so I
you're
think that
hesitating?
she's hanging back.
Okay. So everybody else, Milo, are you touching? Are you reaching out? Okay, Milo's touching. Unsurprisingly, he turns to you and he says, "You want answers. You've seen something terrible, and this might help. If you want to understand what you just saw in that other room, I promise you, nothing but understanding and or the gain of knowledge can't hurt you, but it could possibly give you answers. It may not be the answers you want, but it is the answers that you need."
I think Kiki looks at Anne's dad for confirmation of can we trust this dude? Is he gonna kidnap us? Essentially.
He says, "I know you're worried, but I'm gonna stay right here.
Yep.
Nothing else is gonna happen. You're not going anywhere."
Verbril turns around too and says, "Kiki, we're all here with you. We all want answers. We're in this together. Come on, let's get it."
Okay. Kiki comes up and puts a hand on one of her teammates, touches the orb.
And thus the
Okay.
mass teleportation that split us all apart from each other.
We all hop one body over.
Verbril.
No, there is a flash of light, when you kind of like blink a little bit, you're all in the same room. Nothing looks like it's happened. And he says, Avin says, well, guess that was enlightening. Very well, children. Thank you for your time. And he kind of walks off into the other room. Like the room that you guys came from. He says, no further interaction is required. Thank you very much.
Whoa.
So you all...
I'm gonna
roll some beautiful bean footage and roll some insight.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, you better slow down.
I think
Let's go. I'm gonna help out.
All right. Let's do.
While you guys are kind of like, what? Andal, Ian's father, kind of says, that's it? It was just one flash of light. Are you sure is that everything? He says, that's all we needed.
I think
That doesn't tell me anything.
I got an 18 insight check.
21.
With your insight check, no, this is the way the insight works for you new players. Insight is your ability to, well, we have new players. Your insight is your ability to kind of determine if somebody is trying to lie to you or if somebody is being truthful. And especially with a 21, you, Josh, and TJ, and so Ethan, that would be a failed insight check. So you have no idea whether he's lying. Those of you who would,
He's a good guy.
yeah, so like you're able to kind of suss out like what's the motive or the intent behind somebody's actions or words. You have full confidence that he wanted something, but was really disappointed in like nothing happened. He was just kind of like, well, all right, nothing happened.
Yeah.
Sorry to waste your time. I don't need you any further. You can.
I need to know more.
Yeah, Kiki runs after him like, hey,
Sure.
you promised answers.
Yeah. I want to get after. I want to persuade him to tell us more. Too.
Yeah, he says,
Yep.
answers that you wanted, I never promised. I promised you the answers that you needed, not the answers that you wanted.
But we didn't
You will
get an
find
answer.
them. This is your answer. You will find the truth one day, but it is not today. It was the answer that you don't need now, but you will need eventually.
Well,
At
that
this
doesn't make
time-
any sense.
I don't like the games, old man.
Listen, children.
I love that a bunch of like 13 and 14-year-olds are just like, hey,
Get back here!
It's like,
I have to throw down with an old
children,
dwarf.
listen. This
Yeah.
No,
I've been, I've been debating
So-
like Kiki just throwing a pie.
He
So-
holds up.
so-
He
It's
holds
not
up
gonna-
the orb
it's not
that
gonna-
everybody just touched, and he says, "This orb, combination with the other one that you've touched, brings about a what if." Children, I have seen your what if, and there's nothing further required. This incident will be the only one. I have seen it. Here. You don't remember it, but I have seen it. I ask that you please go on with your life and forget this ever happened.
Yeah, no.
Fuck off.
He looks about. He looks at Andal and he says, "I'm afraid I might have wasted your time. I bid you goodbye," and vanishes.
No way. Oh my god, bro.
we were clearly supposed to be the heroes of legend, and we are totally not. So
we
Yeah,
feel
I'm
the
gonna
earth.
go get a job at McDonald's now.
All right,
Fantasy
we're gonna
Mickeys.
fast forward a little bit. We're
Roll
gonna
for
fast
crop
forward
check.
a little bit. Yeah, roll for. Okay, who wants to become a farmer? Raise your hand. Who wants to be a potion maker? Raise your hand. Let's roll some new characters. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to fast forward. I'm going to take the narrative wheel here, and we are going to fast forward.
Love it.
Through some time. All right. So you guys go back home. Everybody is so happy. Everybody is excited and eager to see you. Hey, I can't believe you're back. Oh man, we were so worried about you. And time passes. Time passes. A few weeks later, there is another sighting of the corruption dagger, and this time Cypress is there, and he comes and takes it away before it expands and destroys entire farms. The circle kind of influence that the daggers are, it almost seems like it's always getting closer to town. Eventually you find 1 week where it is kind of coming closer to, like, almost seems really weird, like the positionings are like scattered all over the place, but they're not random. You have a couple adventures. You have to go help the Elysian princess comes to town for one of the festivals that happens. She goes missing. You guys go find her. It's a like, oh wow, we had so much fun. You guys, couple years go by, and you have the big festival of heroes where there is a big mock battle on the green field where one side takes place over the other. One is like supposed to be the Brune Empire forces, while the other is the alliance against them from the war 150 years ago. You guys have so much fun during those battles, and you're growing and you're learning, and there comes a day when Aladar says he's leaving. He doesn't really talk about it. He says he had a fight with his mom and he's leaving, and he just goes. And as you guys continue to get older, you all kind of find yourself spreading apart. And narratively speaking, I'm going to really fast forward. You guys grow up. You go, except everybody grows up except for Cypress. He finds family. He loses family. He gets new members of his family. You guys all kind of go your separate ways. And then years later, decades later, you guys hear about a battle. There is an army forming of pure darkness. There's rumors of war and terrible wars that knock out entire countries, and you guys hear about it, but living your life here in Braven Ridge, it hasn't affected you. The war isn't here, at least not yet. The armies of darkness always seem to be kind of coming and sweeping over the land out of the Brune Empire and over west, but it's not the Brune Empire. It is something else. It's something darker. And everything kind of comes to a head on a dark, cloudy day when the horizon seems like it's on fire, and you guys are panicking. There is demons literally popping up out of holes in the ground, coming up, and there are angels descending from heaven, and you look up and you see the moon, and it is fracturing from up above, and there's shards of the moon being shot out. And as your town is destroyed, this thought of, I've seen this before. This isn't how it's supposed to happen. And there's a flash of white light, and you see Avendasora standing there with the orb in front of you, and he says, "Sorry, children. Didn't really see what I wanted to see that time. I'm afraid I've wasted your time. Andal, I apologize, but it seems I have no further use here. Bye, children."
Push him up against the wall.
He vanishes.
Come on.
Oh my goodness, I fell for that. What the heck?
You guys go out of the cave, you go back home. You live your life over and over and over, and every single time, no matter where you are, every single time there comes a day when there is an army of darkness, and all hell breaks loose out of the ground, and all heaven descends on the earth. And there is always a day when the red sky appears and the moon breaks, and every single time, flash, 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 entire lives lived in a moment, gone in a moment, entire existences lived over and over. And every single time, right before this massive cloud of dust and destruction swallows you whole. No, this isn't right. Something isn't right. This isn't how it was supposed to be. Flash. And you're back every single time. Avin pulls away the stone and says, "I'm terribly sorry, children, for wasting your time. It seems like I didn't find what I wanted to find."
I think Kiki's going to interrupt him and say, "Quit your bullshit, old man." Like, just trying to get to the point of what the hell was that? Or she's like, what the hell was that?
I told you. This lets you see what if.
Narratively, are we remembering the cycle when we go back to the stone every time?
You have an experience of every life, but it's almost like a dream. Whenever you wake up, every single time, there is this like, wait a minute, no, hang on, something's not right. Wait, hold on. That feeling when you're having a nightmare, like in real life, you're having a nightmare and you were like, this isn't right. Wake up. And then you like, you're back in the room and you go and you live your life and things are the way that they are. And every single time it ends with that, like, no, it's not supposed to be this way. And it flashes back to white and you are in that room with him.
I think she's going to ask, what are we doing wrong?
Now, you're asking the right question. But for that question, I don't have the answer. You have to find that answer for yourself. I have given you the answer of what is this? It's a possibility. You have to figure out how to change it. He looks at Andal and he says, this time he says, "Thank you very much, very good sir. I believe I have found what I'm looking for." He looks at the group and he says, "Children, I do so hope you find the answer." He starts to walk away. Starts to walk away. Is anybody gonna stop him?
Wait, sir. How?
Yes. I'm very busy. I have many things to do.
How? How will we know when we find the answer? How will we know what the answer is when we see it?
There are many paths. I will say this. You will never know when you are on the right path. I myself don't even know if there is a right path. The best that you can do is to improve yourself, to make yourself ready for whatever comes. Road you face will be hard. I have seen it more times than you could possibly imagine. This time, I have not seen it. By asking that question and striving to find its answer, you've already changed something. As for how you will know, I guess we'll find out.
How many chances do we get?
How many chances?
Yeah.
My dear, you only live once.
You got me there.
Now, anybody else has any questions? I'm afraid I must wait. I have very important things to do. Very important people to meet with.
You, Fabril had one.
Riddles in the dark. I must go.
Fabril had one for him. Excuse me, sir. You had mentioned our friend again, the redhead. Keep forgetting his name.
Alador.
Big bag.
Alador. Thank you. So, yep. So you met you.
Can we walk while we talk? Let's walk while we talk. Come on.
All right.
Come on, Babadool. You and your inquisitive mind. I will have your inquisitive answers.
Okay, so Alador, you mentioned him and you asked if he was here with us, but he wasn't. I saw in the a little bit of the faint vision, dream, or past lives. You kind of talked about he left town because something happened with him and his mom. What can you tell me about that situation?
Ah, yes. The rebellious days of many young people are full of angry words spoken in haste. I will say nothing but this. There are many futures in which he left, and there are many futures in which he didn't. As for every teenager, well, I myself remember a few rebellious times I had myself.
And he is tied.
All that is important is this.
And
Get stronger. However you can. Get stronger. Be bolder. Ask questions you never thought to ask before. And you guys are walking like kind of out as he says this. And he says, ask questions you never thought to ask before. Get stronger. It is the only way we can make a change in the world to change ourselves.
When will we see you again?
For too long.
okay. And is Alador's fate tied to our fate with this vision we've been seeing?
Alador has his own path to walk. Your paths will cross from time to time. But I will also say, in the visions that I have seen where we've at least gotten close, if such a thing is possible, Alador makes choices. Some he is there, some he is not. Some he dies, some he lives. Alador has his own path to walk, and it is up to you. Many of the choices, I will say this, he's guarding his words very carefully. He says, every action has a consequence. Throw a puddle in the pond. Tosses a little puddle in a little dripping puddle in the stone room, and you see the ripples. You make one change, and it changes everything else. Throws another one, lands in a different position, but the ripples counteract each other and cancel out. It says another action change the action that you already changed. There are endless possibilities here. So many things could happen. But I will say Alador is very important. There are things that he can do and things that he cannot do and he must not do. But I don't know. It is up to you to find out.
So
By this point, you guys have reached the outside of the cave and the entrance, and you guys are out in the woods, and it's late fall now. It's starting to get a little chilly. The leaves are starting to fall off the trees. There's, bare branches starting to show. Andol kind of says, "Well, we must be getting back to town, kids. Your parents are going to want to see you." Kind of twirls his mustache a little bit. "Hey, are you ready to go, son?"
Yes, sir. Yes, Father. So, if I want to make a change, I've got to start with the man in the mirror.
Yes, old polished brass. Have that.
I do
Take a
feel the
look at yourself
chills.
and
I should turn up
take a
the
change.
collar on my winter coat. Okay.
And Verbril kind of speaks himself a little bit, and one thing he takes away with is he has to get stronger. Verbril, I have to get stronger. That's one thing that's stuck based on the conversation he had with them. But that's what's running through Verbril's mind right now. He has to get stronger, meaning in knowledge and also physically with the sword. But
Okay.
just want to get that out there.
I think I'd start making my way home. I think I pull my flute out and start trying to play something with some real melancholy music to think to as I walk home. I don't think I say anything else.
Go home with your Alanis Morissette CD.
Cypress is not going to go with you guys, and just going to go walk off into the forest.
I can't hear him.
Me?
Wow.
I can hear him.
Yeah, we all.
He says he's gonna.
He's going to walk off in the forest. Hey, help me, Cypress, real quick. I was gonna hang around for a bit. Thought I might go off in the forest, see what's what. Might be something I might be interested in. Have a go.
He says, "Cypress, you have work to do. I'll leave you to it." I know. Cypress said, "I know," in case those of you who can't hear us or see the chat. Okay, so he kind of says farewell to everybody, and he vanishes. Let's unpack that for a bit, guys.
Oh my gosh, dude.
We'll end the session after this. What do you do when you get home after you have the greetings of, "Oh my gosh, Kiki, I was sort of worried about you." And you get home to the, like, you get past the awkward, like, "I told you not to touch strange glowing objects, son," kind of like talk,
Yeah.
What do you do?
So Ian.
Thor.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I saved it because you
saying
said Thor.
but it's not. I keep
Thor,
saying
Thor,
yeah.
Thoracic. All of a sudden, like
It's not even
wormholes
Thor.
like open up and like the cameras go and zoom in. It shows up on Thoracic and Karik and everybody. Just fishing.
In one of those alternate lives that we lived,
Yeah.
Scaled dragonborn.
yeah, no, in one of those lives we lived, he took a nickname of Thor.
Doing a
It was like
crossover
a-
episode, TJ. That's right.
Crossover app. So Ian's gonna, after he sits down, he's going to, have the appropriate amount of interaction with his father. His father's kind of distant, but still respectful. So he's going to be home, and he's gonna go upstairs to his desk, where he's gonna have his own little workstation, where he's like, future detective, where he's gonna like chronicle and start writing down the journal as the magic orb or glowing orb in question mark, and you start to see him scribble out details and writing detailed notes of what's going on, of
I like
what he
that.
saw, and then it's going to be very methodical, like you would see it, cutting drawers opening, writing things down, putting in, and then I think you're just going to see, as he starts finishing chronicling what he's written down, he puts it back up, sets everything right in his place, very meticulous, pulls like this hat down, and as he starts to think and dwell and meditate on what he's thought back, you see him start thinking, and I think you start to see his eyes go black for a little bit as he's meditating, going through, and then I think the camera cuts.
That was good. That was good. Nice.
Who wants to go next?
Let's do unpacking. Aeon just unpacked. Let's do Milo.
No, Milo.
Milo,
It's Milo.
as the days go by and his parents start acting their usual selves again, Milo kind of goes quiet whenever they're like, "Hey, which side are you gonna choose?" And one day he seeks out Leto, and it's like, "Hey, you're strong, right? You think you could teach me a little bit?"
Yes. Oh, very strange little halfling. All right. What you can do with a bow? So, yeah, I love it. Yeah, you go and seek out Leto Von Atreyu, who you get the feeling like this guy is strong. I can learn from this guy. I want to be stronger. Yeah, I love it. Anything else?
That's it's that one battle that just keeps coming up in his mind, and he's like, "How am I supposed to affect that?"
Yeah. We'll leave the scene with Milo methodically taking an arrow, knocking it, releasing. Before, when Milo was always in his training grounds, he was calling out attack moves, flourishing his little wooden sword. Now Milo is focused. Release. Focus. Release. That's where we'll leave Milo for now.
That was good. Good.
I want to hear what. Let's go with Kiki next.
Okay, so I think Kiki, when she first gets home, I think the first thing that she does is go and hug her parents, because I think in all the years that she just witnessed, she, depending on like how long it was, she probably saw them die, like probably a good number of times. And
You saw a lot of different things. Sometimes your parents lived until the end. Sometimes your mother went missing and you never saw her again. Sometimes your dad died of a strange sickness or disease. There are a multitude of ways that, like, that's weird, because you have that feeling of like, these are my parents. I have seen them die so many times, even though I don't remember anything. You just have that, like, the emotion from everything that you just experienced remains a little bit, even though the memories don't. Oh yes, and she is so happy to see you. Oh, my Kiki, I got another child. Oh, you never let me go again. Warlord. And your dad says, like, honey, please don't be talking about making dark pacts with the warlords. The window is open. I don't care who hears. I am always going to protect my people.
I think that she definitely ferociously hugs them back. And fuck, I just had it as well. Okay, I'll come back to that thought if it comes back to me. But yeah, so after she kind of embraces her parents, that's what I was gonna say. She apologizes for running off. Right after they had told her about her origins and everything. And I think that what she does is, I kind of had a similar thought to John, of her kind of going up and writing down as much as she could remember, whether it be like, don't forget this, you need to prepare for this, and kind of writing down as well, if she can recall it, like the actions that she chose and what those could possibly lead to. But I think she's going to write it all down before she forgets. Because it's like, whenever you wake up and you have a dream, you're like, whoa, that was a crazy dream. And then your brain's like, what dream? So I think that she wants to record it all before it goes. And is this going to lead up like into our time skip as well?
Yeah, so our next session is going to be a couple years later. There's an event that we'll do. So you'll be like stage 3 of our level 0 stuff.
Hmm.
So if there was anything that you wanted to do as an awkward tween, this is kind of like your last shot.
Ah, shit. Yeah, I think that she just writes everything down, and I think that she starts to take her magic and potion studies just a bit more seriously. Of even as like the days and weeks pass on, of that nagging feeling of, what was I supposed to remember? I have a feeling that I need to do that. That's whimsical music. But yeah, so I think that's what she's gonna do.
Let's do Marilyn. You're up, my friend.
Perfect timing. I think I was writing. I think I would have went home and met the parents and talked with everybody. I think I would have sat with my mom for a bit and expressed everything that happened, and she, I think, would have encouraged me to write, and it would have been naturally inclined for Marilyn to write in the form of poetry or song of some sort. So I think he sits for a while and writes something almost like cheesy and like something like how like a teenager, you know how like like My Chemical Romance, where everything's like really emotional and like over blasted, but it's also big because we know it's real. But here's what I came up with. I think you would sit alone, and I think you would play something along the lines of time, eternal, dark, infernal, the end of all hope, broken moon, unending doom, the end of all hope. In my hands, our hands only, children now, past, present, future. How, goddammit, how? I think he would like stew on that and really kind of feel the pressure of everything that happened. And I think he would go to try and find Luca and not necessarily explain everything, but just pester him again until he agrees to train me and show me what I need to do to become better, just better. Because I think that's what he would do. That's what I do.
That poetry was dope.
We'll save the
Bard's gonna
episode
bard.
for where like your mom is cleaning your room one day and she like lifts your mattress up because there's some crumbs under there. She's like, "Notebook, what's this?" She opens it up. Oh my! We're gonna talk about this when he gets home.
Yeah.
All right, PJ, are you ready for your thing? Please do that.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Go while I can hear you.
So Cypress walks deep into the forest, and he's quiet the whole time. He sees some of his animal friends, but he keeps going in. Eventually finds a stump to just sit, and he thinks. And he's kind of rocking back and forth, a little nervous, a little shaken. And he says out loud, "Well, lady, voice lady. I know you haven't talked to me since well, the before, but I've got this new quest. I don't really know what to do. Well, you know, the others, they're back with their family right now, and I don't know what to do. I feel so alone. So alone. And I think he'll just sit there for a day or two and just do nothing else.
You feel this like I had mentioned before that it's autumn, so the winds are starting to get cooler. When you have that feeling of loneliness and despair, there is a warm breeze that kind of gently swirls around you, and your boar friend finds you just sitting there, and he kind of trots over, like lays down and just like naps on you. Your bird friend kind of like lands on you and like,
Thanks, kid. Bye, Taya. Thanks.
there's leaves and wind kind of pushing you on. You see a little rocky alcove where the wind kind of swirls around for a bit, and it looks like it's about to die off, and then all of a sudden blows on to the next thing. And
All right.
you see life continuing on. It's never stopping. It's always moving on. But I think maybe after everything that you've seen, you notice more often the animals always stick within their pack. There is a nest of birds always, you know, when there's one, another one flies up a little bit later, and you notice there is a family. There is a mother deer followed by 2 baby deer, and you notice that there is strength in family. There is, you know, one day maybe you see a pack of wolves. Like you only see one, and then the tail end of a couple more, and then they go by, and you get this feeling of like, no, everything is going to go to crap, and I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. I need to find family. And with that, we'll go to Fabril, my friend.
All right.
Tell us. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about what Fabril is doing.
So Verbril's mind is racing, just racing. He gets home. Of course, father and mother are glad to see him. That evening, he actually approaches his father, and he, tells his father that he thinks it's time for him to start learning some advanced moves within our, our secret clan, and knowing his father that his father doesn't like violence to be the answer. He's not sure what his father's gonna say at that point, but he reaches out to his dad and just says he believes he's ready to start learning some advanced magic techniques. And I don't know if you want to role play that or if it's a no or yes. But
do you tell him about like the vision and everything that you saw? I'm assuming he asked because he
yes,
tried to study it, and
yes, and based on our relationship and our history, Verbril Daz explained that to him, and that's the reason why he wants to learn the advanced stuff, and he feels like he's ready to start getting into the advanced scrolls and the advanced.
he kind of like slaps you on the back. Now he's a magic person, right? So
Yeah,
his slap doesn't hurt at all, really. He's like, "Ha! I knew it. You've got the spark in you now, my boy Vabril. You saw these things that were going to happen, and now you have sought the magic. I knew it. I knew it one day. I knew one day you would get that spark in you." All right. First, where are we going to start? Annebril, where should we start? She says, "That's I don't know. I'm a little busy right now putting together this gauntlet, and if I mess this rune up, it might blow up the house. So leave me alone." Your dad. Oh yes, of course. Never bother your mother when she is working. Let's see. Let us. I have some books for you to read. Come with me. So he is on fire, and you could almost say like from now on he kind of doubles down on like, and make sure you read this. Make sure you read this one. You've got to read this text right here. You see how the incantation is forming here. Yes, incantation is how it works. So he is thrilled because he views in his mind that, oh, my son saw a problem and now he is trying to learn magic to counter that problem. Yeah. My teachings are perfect.
Yep. And Verbril is, as the pile of books come towards the desk and it sits down and he starts going through it, he just starts kind of talking to himself, I must get stronger. I must get stronger. And then the last thing that kind of comes out of his mouth is, I had it. I can't remember. I'm not good with names, just like Ethan said. What is our friend's name again?
Your mentor?
No, the redhead.
Aladar.
The mayor's Aladar. Thank you.
I had to write it down.
Yeah, Aladar. Matter of fact, I'm gonna write it down to myself. And the last thing that comes up of Bril's mouth is, Aladar. What does he have to do with this? What is his purpose? Like, you could tell the sage, the intellect in his mind is just moving and racing, and so he is so focused and steadying, and he's trying to get stronger, and then he's trying to figure out what does Aladar have to do with this, and what's his purpose moving forward. But yeah, that's what's going on with Verbril.
All right, everybody, that is where we're going to close tonight's episode. Hope you all enjoyed